truth is, our family home was bombed, and we went with my lawyer, Sina Kasamada Kagua, to the DCI boss, George Kenoti. We gave them the evidence of what happened, who was involved, the phone numbers, their names, and how it was planned. And we were promised that the man would be arrested and prosecuted. That has never happened. And the reason we're in court today is because that man wants me to stop from saying that he bombed my home. But I'll keep on saying until the day I die that Alfred Mutua bombed our family home. And I'll never stop saying that because that's the truth. And I know it. The government knows it. Police know it. Kenyan Jew here knows it. I've told him several times. Every time he sends me an email about contempt, I remind him that his client knows what he did. I have no apology to make for saying that Alfred Mutua bombed our home. I know it as a matter of fact. And I'll keep saying that until the day I die. Whether he's jailed, whether he's ever arrested, whatever happens to him, and the day he dies, I'll celebrate and say, there lies the person who bombed our family home.
All that this case has managed so far is to tell the defendant, don't cry. Even if in pain, keep quiet. Because out of frustration, he may express himself to say, why haven't the police done this and I have a suspect? So I'm trying to show that this is a case of great public importance, balancing the rights of somebody with a genuine grievance and those of a person who behaves like a fugitive and runs to court for safety from investigation. Because if that is not the case, why haven't we had a hearing date? We would be ready.
The court must look at this man and consider his contributions to our society. My lord, in 2007, Boniface Mwangi, while working as a journalist at the Standard newspaper, was sent to cover the post-election violence. He witnessed horrific images of death, mutilation, and bloodshed. And when this country moved on, as it always does, Boniface Mwangi single-handedly chose to publish images to not only shock the conscience of the nation, but to remind this country the journey that we have traveled. Beyond that, Boniface Mwangi brought to the attention of the nation that Kenyans were experiencing extrajudicial killings and were being thrown into the River Yala. When he first published it, it seemed like what some would call fake news. But the head of state is on record acknowledging that innocent Kenyans were killed and thrown into the River Yala, and that revelation came through the work of Mr. Boniface Mwangi. Boniface highlights cases of injustice against Kenyans: land grabbing, abuse, rape, abuse of power and authority. My lord, it is not lost on anyone in this court that if you mention the name Boniface Mwangi, the people of this nation associated with fighting against injustice. As the court makes its determination, a learned senior has indeed declared that this is a case of great public concern, because this time the difference was that Boniface was not speaking for someone else. He was not highlighting another person's issue. He was not highlighting another person's injustice.
Allow me first to say,
let the court rule on the objection.
Let me first say what I'm saying.
Let him say,
then object. Then you can object.
Let him say,
yes,
then you object.
That's the basis. I first say, you don't even know what I'm about to say. I could even say that, oh, you know, the sentencing should be suspended. You know, say it. Say it. My lord, let's have respect for the court. I was about to say that this defendant has made an express admission from his own two lips. I have no apology to make. To the plaintiff, that is thumbing his nose to the court. And where there is an injunction order in place, Your Lordship,
May I
that
now
is an
object
act.
at
No, no,
this
no.
stage?
That is an
I've
act that entitles the court to issue
Objection.
the order for sentencing
Objection.
through incarceration.
Objection. It is never heard of. It doesn't happen. After mitigation, however it is, the prosecutor can never have another chance. And if Mr. Kinyanjui is seeing himself as a prosecutor, then he has outdone himself.
And the court reiterates that all and sundry, all citizens must obey the court orders at all times. The respondent too has no option but to obey the court order until it is set aside or stayed. Irrespective of his opinion of the defendant, which is entitled to, once he submits himself before this court, he has to obey the same directives. Unfortunately, the defendant has not purged the contempt and stated he has no apology to make. I do find the defendant a sum of Kenya shillings 300,000, or in default he'll be held in prison for 2 months.
Today we're in court and I've been sentenced to 2 months in prison or a fine of 300,000. We are going to appeal, so we have paid the fine of 300,000, but we're going to appeal. A grave injustice has been committed, but luta continua. The struggle continues, and I'm so happy that my friends and family can support me, and my amazing lawyers. Yes.
Alfred Mutua is the prime suspect. So out of that, Governor Mutua obtained ex parte orders in court. Ex parte means without the other party, to gag Boniface Mwangi from saying his house was bombed and he is a suspect. And the difficulty in this case is that, as a matter of fact, police have not finished investigating and have never taken anybody to court on the matter of the bombing of the house of Boniface Mwangi. The dilemma is this: is Boniface going to be told never again to say his house was bombed, or that Alfred Mutua is in his view a suspect? If Mutua has filed for defamation like he has, it is his duty to get the case heard. Then Boniface can be able to testify, produce his evidence. At the end of the day, we shall know whether Mutua indeed was involved in the bombing of the house of Boniface Mwangi. That is the case we are reading today. And when we say an injustice has been committed, it's because, as a matter of fact, his house was bombed and he's been told not to say it. So we'll be appealing.
Yeah, I'm a free man.
Free man.
I'm a free man. I'm going home.
Yep.
As a free man. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Now I'm safe. I can go home.
I am kind of